47 warriors. They didn't lose. They were just waiting. One king, one sorceress, one cursed palace, and against it all, a single promise. Oishi once said, "We may die, but our war will live on." Dragons, magic, fire, everything stood in their way. But a sword only rises when the heart burns. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The movie opens with a mysterious boy. No one knows where he came from. He just appeared out of nowhere. The king offers him shelter in his royal court. The boy's name is Kai. The king and his daughter Meika care for Kai like he's one of their own. Years pass by. Then one silent afternoon, the sky over the kingdom suddenly turns dark. The birds stop singing. The wind freezes. And then a deafening roar shakes the air. It sounds as if it's rising from deep beneath the earth. A creature emerges, but this is no ordinary beast. Its body is massive, its skin as hard as stone, and its eyes glow red, burning with fury. Even though the kingdom's soldiers stand in formation, one look into the creature's eyes, and many step back in fear. It's as if death itself is marching forward. Before the soldiers can even raise their swords, the beast crushes them one by one beneath its feet. And just then, Kai steps forward. He stares at the beast, calm, fearless. He knows brute force won't work. For a moment, the creature pauses. Their eyes meet, and in that instant, Kai runs, leaps into the air, and drives his spear straight into the beast's stomach. The kingdom trembles with a final earth-shaking roar. The monster thrashes, then collapses, its giant body crashing to the ground. Silence returns. But even after saving them all, not a single soldier thanks Kai, because to them, Kai isn't a hero. They believe he's a curse upon the kingdom. And at that moment, deep in the forest, Kai sees it, a white fox, watching him. Meanwhile, in a rival kingdom, the ruthless and cunning King Kira begins weaving a dark conspiracy to expand his power. His goal is clear: defeat King Asanu and seize control of the entire land. To achieve this, he summons an ancient and terrifying demoness to his court. Through her, Kira begins harnessing the power of darkness, slowly transforming himself into a vessel of pure evil. That mysterious white fox Kai saw in the forest? It was the demoness, disguised in her shape-shifted form. Back in King Asanu's kingdom, following the defeat of the giant beast, a grand festival is declared to celebrate the victory. As part of the festivities, a warrior tournament is held, featuring the kingdom's bravest samurai. During this time, one of the king's trusted allies quietly informs Princess Meika that Kai has withdrawn into a remote forest, burdened by deep sorrow. That night, defying every rule and expectation, Meika ventures alone into the depths of the jungle. She finds Kai there, quiet and distant. The feelings she had for him the very first time they met, she still carries them in her heart. But as a princess, the weight of her title and the social distance between them fills her with silent pain. Heart heavy, she returns to the palace without a word. The next day, the festival begins in full swing. Kai attends, trying to blend in with the crowd, until suddenly his eyes catch something unusual. A young woman. In her gaze, he sees something strange, a glimmer, just like the eyes of the white fox. It shakes him to the core. Without wasting a moment, Kai rushes to Oshi, the king's most trusted advisor, and tells him everything. But Oshi dismisses it as fantasy, calling it nothing more than the product of a troubled mind. At the break of dawn, the kingdom awakens to the grand festival. The royal courtyard comes alive with vibrant decorations, the roar of instruments, and the joyous cheers of the people. Just then, a fearsome warrior steps onto the main stage, sent by the enemy king, Kira. His presence radiates cruelty and arrogance. In response, King Asanu calls for his kingdom's most skilled and traditional champion. But after moments of silence, there's no sign of him. That's when Kai realizes the horrifying truth. The demoness has cast a dark spell, rendering the champion unconscious. Understanding what's at stake, Kai makes a bold decision. He dons the fallen warrior's armor and steps onto the battlefield himself, because he loves the king, and he cannot let his honor fall into the dirt. At first, no one recognizes him, but Princess Meika sees through the disguise. She recognizes the truth in his eyes. It's Kai, her beloved. Her heart tightens with fear, because this battle will end with someone's death. Silently, she watches. The duel begins. Kai fights with all his strength, skill, and spirit. Then, in a flash, his mask falls off, and the entire crowd gasps in shock. He's no samurai. It's Kai. Furious, the chief leader of the tournament storms onto the field. His face burns with rage. "This young man is not an authorized warrior," he declares. He has broken royal rules by entering this sacred contest. His punishment is death. The words strike like thunder. Mika pushes through the crowd, tears streaming down her face. If anyone must die for this crime, then let it be me, she cries. I love him with all my heart. King Asanu, deeply moved, bows to the tournament leader and pleads for mercy. After a long silence, the leader announces his life will be spared, but he will not escape punishment. At once, royal guards step forward. They seize Kai. Their staffs strike again and again until his body slumps from the pain. They beat him mercilessly. That night, deep in the shadows, King Kira and the Demoness put their next plan into motion to assassinate King Asanu. Using her dark magic, the Demoness creates a bewitched spider and sends it into Asanu's chamber. Under its spell, the king falls into a hallucination. In his dream, he sees Kira dishonoring his daughter. Enraged, he lunges to attack, but just as his blade is raised, the illusion shatters. The scene is witnessed by the tournament leader, who believes King Asanu has attacked a royal guest. He is summoned that very night, and his punishment is declared death. Kira and the Demoness plan has succeeded. However, out of respect for King Asanu's service to the realm, he is granted the right to die by his own hand. Princess Mika breaks down in tears, but her father tells her, "Do not show weakness before your enemies," and with dignity, he ends his own life. It is Oshi, the royal advisor, who carries out the final ritual. Oshi had long suspected a sinister plot. He cannot accept what has happened, and in his heart, he makes a vow. He will take revenge. The next day, the leader makes a chilling announcement. With the king gone, Princess Mecca will be married to King Kira. And just like that, Kira will rule over both kingdoms, exactly as he had planned all along. With the Demoness by his side, this was always his goal: seize power, destroy the old order, and rule through fear. After taking control of the kingdom, Kira begins issuing cruel decrees. First, he imprisons all those who were once loyal to King Asanu. Kai is captured, and Oshi, the king's closest warrior and a beloved figure among the people, is locked away in a dark underground bunker. 5 years pass. Oshi is finally released, his sentence complete, but his heart burns with rebellion. When he returns home, he learns the devastating truth. Kira has sold his former comrades to a distant island, condemning them to slavery. Oshi wastes no time. He mounts a horse and sets out for the island. What he finds there is terrifying. The island is crawling with monsters and demons. And then he sees him, Kai, in the middle of a brutal fight with a massive beast. But the Kai Oshi once knew is no more. His time on the island has changed him. He has become one of them. His combat skills have become legendary. With swift, savage strikes, he defeats the beast effortlessly. When Oshi approaches, Kai doesn't recognize him. Years of captivity, torture, and pain have erased his memory. Instead, he attacks. Oshi defends himself, not to harm, but to awaken a memory, to bring back the boy who once fought for the king. And slowly, Kai begins to remember. As the memories return, the two of them make a plan to escape. Under cover of darkness, they flee the island. At dawn, Oshi finally reveals the full truth to Kai of Kira's betrayal of Meika and the kingdom that now suffers under darkness. Together, they set out on a journey back, for justice, for freedom, for vengeance. Meanwhile, Kira's cruelty grows without bounds. He becomes so ruthless that even a whisper of dissent can get a family imprisoned or publicly executed. The people live in fear, barely daring to breathe. One day, a soldier stumbles into the royal court, his face drenched in sweat, eyes filled with terror. Breathless, he stammers, "My lord, Kai." He's escaped the island, and he's not alone. A samurai was with him. Kira's face darkens. Fire burns in his eyes. He knows. Oshi has returned. He realizes it must have been Oshi who rescued Kai. It can only mean one thing: they're coming. He immediately summons the Demoness. "Find him," he growls. "Find Oshi. Bring him to me. That is your only task now." Elsewhere, Oshi moves in the shadows. He begins searching for the warriors he once called brothers. These were once the guardians of King Asanu, skilled, brave, and loyal. But after the king's death, they were cast aside. Some became farmers, others work as porters. Many have vanished into forests and mountains, hiding in shame. One by one, Oshi finds them. He stands at their doors and says softly, "Have you forgotten who you once were? There's still time. Come back." At first, no one believes. Some say, "We're not warriors anymore, Oshi. We lost." But Oshi only replies, "Your bodies may be weaker, but your hearts still burn with fire. Kira's trying to snuff out that fire, but the kingdom is calling you. Come back for the final battle. One by one, 47 answer his call. But there's a problem. They have no weapons. They know standing against Kira's army unarmed is suicide, so they go to an old blacksmith's forge. Oshi approaches a soldier and humbly pleads, "We want to fight for our people. Please, we need weapons." The soldier stares at them silently, then laughs. You want weapons? You're not samurai anymore. Your days of fighting are over. Get out of here before we throw you out. Just then, Kai steps forward. He waits a beat. Then, with a single precise punch, he knocks the soldier to the ground. The skirmish lasts barely 10 minutes, but by the end, the forge is silent. Kira's soldiers lie defeated. They gather weapons and walk away. But they know this is just the beginning. They still need more. Elsewhere, the demoness has imprisoned Mika in a hidden chamber. Day after day, she tortures her, physically, mentally, relentlessly. Mika's body bears the scars, burn marks across her skin, bruises from shackles on her wrists, but her eyes still burn with defiance. One day, the demoness stands before her and sneers. "Inside you lies the power, the one thing that can destroy my magic. You don't know it yet, but I do. You are my final obstacle, and I will break you." But even in this illusion of fear, Mika doesn't bow her head. She simply says to herself, "I've done no wrong, so I will not lose." Meanwhile, Kai says to Oshi, "In the forest where I grew up, there's a place filled with ancient weapons. We can get what we need from there, but we must pass a test to claim them." Oshi agrees without hesitation. They set out on their journey and soon arrive at the forest. It's eerie, silent, and dark, a place haunted by memory. For Kai, it feels like stepping into his childhood. As they move deeper in, they spot a cave. Before they enter, Kai warns, "No matter what happens inside, you must never draw your sword." Together, Kai and Oshi enter the cave, leaving the others outside to wait. Inside, they find a strange man standing still. His eyes are unnerving, so intense that one look sends a chill down the spine. Kai recognizes him instantly. This was the man who raised him. The man speaks, "I know why you've come. There is a sword here. If you want it, take it." Outside, Oshi notices something strange. A group of priest-like figures sit cross-legged, eyes closed in meditation. A towering statue looms before them. They're all in the same pose, completely still. It's unsettling. Oshi doesn't understand what's going on, but he can feel it. Something's wrong here. Still, he holds his composure. Kai's warning echoes in his mind. But among the other warriors waiting outside, tension grows. Too much time has passed. Oshi still hasn't returned. They decide to go in and check. As soon as they enter, Oshi turns and says, "What are you doing here?" But in that very moment, one of the monks suddenly jerks his head violently. The motion is so unnatural, so horrifying, that panic spreads among the others. They sense evil. Without thinking, they draw their weapons. And that's when the monks awaken, ferocious, unleashing a blinding assault. Each monk possesses dark magic, unnatural speed, inhuman strength. Oshi's comrades are quickly overwhelmed. One by one, they fall. In that chaos, one thought races through Oshi's mind. "I have to draw my sword now. If I don't, they'll all die." But then, he remembers Kai's words. "If you can stay in control, even in your darkest moment, only then are you truly worthy of power." Oshi does not draw his sword. Meanwhile, the terrifying man speaks again to Kai. "Your sword is right in front of you. Take it." But Kai knows. This blade will not come easily. The man before him wields powerful magic, but so does Kai, because once, long ago, this man had taught him the very same magic. Kai steps forward without hesitation, and in a flash, he grabs the sword. At that exact moment, the world around Oshi begins to shift. The monks outside return to their meditative state. The illusion fades. The whispers, the visions, the fear, it all vanishes. And Oshi realizes none of it was real. It was all a test, not of strength, but of the mind. He passed, because even in fear, he didn't draw his sword. He stayed in control. As a result, the swords hidden within that place now belong to Oshi and his companions, not just as weapons, but as proof. True strength isn't about fighting, it's about conquering yourself. The next morning, beneath a sky thick with mist, one of Oshi's allies comes running with urgent news. King Kira, he's coming to a secret temple today, alone. A fire ignites in their eyes. After all these years, the moment of revenge is finally here. As night falls, they move like shadows toward the temple. The world is silent, just the rustle of dead leaves and the whisper of wind like wandering souls. Outside the temple stands a royal figure. Everyone freezes. Is that Kira? Suddenly, disaster strikes. One companion, wounded long ago, lets out a muffled groan. The sound cuts through the silence. The figure turns, but it's not Kira. It's her, the sorceress. Revenge burns in her eyes as she smirks, places a finger on her lips, and whispers a spell. In an instant, flames erupt. The entire village is surrounded in a circle of fire. From the shadows, flaming arrows rain down. 1, 2, dozens. Chaos strikes like lightning. One warrior, the one who once swore a blood oath with Oshi, falls lifeless. The rest are severely wounded. The earth, soaked in blood, seems to cry out. This war will not be won tonight, but they do not yield. Oshi roars through the blaze. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Wounded and bleeding, they escape through the flames and find shelter in a cave carved into the side of a mountain, where they wait for the light of dawn. And then comes the most solemn moment of all, a promise, an oath, a legacy. Each of them takes a small piece of paper. They prick their finger with a blade and press a drop of blood onto the parchment. Oshi speaks. We may die, but let our war live on. Let the future know. We came here for justice. The wind rises, carrying the blood-marked papers through the cave, as if a silent god bears witness. Back in the royal palace, there's celebration, flowers, music, the grand wedding of King Kira. But unknown to all, among the entertainers entering the palace are 47 masked performers. Oshi is among them, his eyes sharp beneath his mask. One by one, his companions melt into the shadows, quietly neutralizing the guards. But then, an arrow from a guard rips Oshi's mask in half. The palace freezes, the stage collapses, the illusion shatters. In a heartbeat, the palace becomes a battlefield. Swords clash, blood spills, and war cries echo through the stone halls. The final reckoning has begun. Meanwhile, Kai rushes to Meika. They embrace, eyes filled with pain, regret, but also hope. Suddenly, darkness spills into the room. From the shadows, she appears, the sorceress. And then, before their eyes, she transforms. Her blood-red robes tear and twist, becoming wings. A monstrous dragon rises, its roar setting the sky ablaze. The palace roof crumbles under the heat, but this time, Kai doesn't hold back. In his hand, the ancient magical sword, a blade born of spiritual purity. He charges into battle, facing the beast in a clash of fire and fate. And in the final moment, he chants the sacred spell, drives the sword forward. The blade pierces the dragon's heart. The sorceress's scream vanishes into the wind. Elsewhere, Oshi stands face to face with King Kira. Their duel isn't just between two men, it's between a nation's sins and its redemption. And in the end, Kira falls. Oshi lifts the severed head high. The guards drop their weapons in surrender. The next day, the kingdom's highest judge, the leader, arrives. His voice booms. You have killed the king. You have broken the law, but you have fought against injustice. Then he delivers a strange verdict. All 47 warriors shall choose death, because this was a righteous crime, and one by one they bow their heads and accept their fate. Only one is left alive, Oshi's son, the last heir. The leader knows this child will one day bring light into the kingdom's shadows. Princess Meika sits alone, tears glistening in her eyes, a letter in her hand, written by Kai. She reads it, slowly, silently. No words spoken, only the sound of a heart quietly shattering and healing at once. The 47 warriors vanish into history, but from their shadow, a revolution is born. And this is where the film ends. How did today's story feel to you? Let us know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching.